Verbal Big Radio, where we give you a verbal image of life, and we are everyday people. I'd like to welcome you all to the show. This is part 2 in dealing with the movie Black Panther. And what made me do this part 2 is here in Houston, a young lady, 17 years old, and some friends carjacked her father. She was in on the plot. Yeah, they carjacked him on the road, drove him back to the house. They were supposed to go in and rob her father for some money, except he ran in the house, locked the door. They drove off and left the daughter. Ridiculous. Ridiculous when it comes down to something of a child now, born into this world. Obviously, the dad was a good dad in the sense that she was staying with the dad. The fact that from birth till 17, I know she couldn't take care of herself. She had a roof over her head. She was eating food and riding in a car that was desired to be jacked by jackers. So, okay, she had to be living pretty good. But you're gonna hire some dudes to carjack your own father. If I was him, look, but then again, he let her go. She was arrested for that. She'll be ashamed and ingrammed for the rest of her life for doing such a horrific act towards someone that brought you into this world. You showing little respect for your elders. This is how this ties into the movie Black Panther, because of the respect. Now, give you an example. The different tribes that were in Africa, they had different traditions and cultures, but all of them respect the ancestors, and they respected the culture, and they respected the elders. They also, within their tribes, had, I'd say, love for one another, or what's another word? They also had respect for each other. And so, being up under the colonizer and adopting the colonizer's way, his religion, his diet, then we're at a loss. Or let's say those who are still up under the colonizer's way. So obviously, the young girl, she should have watched Black Panther. The structure of building family should be similar to the structure of, even though it was a movie, it's taking you back to your proper mindset that you had before slavery, before being up under a colonizer and taking upon his way and being, see, you got to realize black people never really totally accepted the colonizer's way, because genetically we couldn't, because it goes against who we are. But over a period of time, if you're being oppressed for so long and you develop post-traumatic slavery disorder, then you understand the desire. But the word desire is too simple of a word. It's too nice of a word. The scratching and the crawling and the push and the pull to be accepted And the colonizer society is so great to where people will go to certain lengths of certain degrees of debauchery, certain degrees of self-mutilation in a sense, to become something that society deems as something, and in the end you realize it's nothing. To be accepted by your peers, to be accepted among quote unquote what they would call the cool kids, or to emulate what you see on television and on these videos, to emulate that in real life, so someone can say, "Oh man, you got it going on," or "Oh girl, you got it going on," or whatnot. People sell their soul just to be accepted in a society that never accepted them in the first place. But that's why you see Brother Farrakhan and Honorable Elijah Muhammad say that, but I always tell you, you have to know thyself. I always tell you to believe in you. You know, get some knowledge. You know, you acting other than yourself. And who are you? If you don't know who you are you? You are one who submits to the universal laws that govern man, that was created by the universal God, who set up universal law. If you need an example, okay, bam, I give you an example. What goes up comes down. You reap what you sow. The karmic laws. The law of consequence, which I wrote get the book Consequence by Vince Cole Muhammad. What else? Do unto others as you have done, do unto you. Treat people the way you like to be treated. And all those stand true. That other than the outside of that, the rest is just an illusion. It's just a game. You know. But it makes good for storytelling, true. It makes good for movies. It makes good for a history lesson in a sense. But at the end of the day, the rest of it is just what it is. Now take a thing. One good thing about history is you can learn the foundation that things was based upon and why things are the way it is today. Sometimes things are the way it is today based upon a false reality or a lack of knowledge, where one thought it should be this way, but they didn't have the knowledge or the tools or the truth or the information on what led it to be that way. So they went on their own accord, and we following them today. But that's why the foundation can be a little shaky, because it wasn't based on a solid foundation. It was just based upon what they believed to be true due to their understanding. Give you an example. At one point when the Europeans thought the earth was flat, that if they go off too far off in the ocean, they fall off the planet. So they would only travel so far off into the water based upon knowledge that wasn't true, but they believed it to be true. You know, or the sense that from Rome to Europe, the knowledge that the Moors brought to Spain and the Spaniards brought it to Rome, they had no prior knowledge to a lot of things because they was far away. You gotta remember, they were in Europe in the cold and wet climates. They wasn't traveling out in the sun. Certain things wasn't growing in Europe that was growing in in Africa that was going in North and South America. You have to take all of that into account on what was and what is when you look at history. So the young lady, back to the young lady, still in the helping, and they wasn't her friends, because if they were her friends, they say, "Hey, you gonna rob your dad?" You know, and then why, or was she talked into robbing her father? And she went along with the plan. What were you gonna do with the money? Were you gonna buy some drugs with the money? What could you do with that money at 17? And how much money you think you would have got? $5,000-$6,000? That's no money. How long would that last? You gonna run away and live off of the couple about $5,000 or $6,000 that your father that was robbed from your father? Hotel, food, gas in the car. And after that, after the money's gone, what you gonna do? You're gonna start with robbing. You know, keep robbing until you go to jail. What you gonna post it on Facebook to get some Facebook fame? Or you know, you're gonna get Facebook fame, and that's the whole purpose of you robbing your dad and committing a life of crime, and you and the two guys, they gonna stand outside, y'all standing outside the car holding your pistols in the air like y'all vigilantes or something. Come on, man. Y'all black. As soon as the word get out and they find you, you might not even have a trial. They just shot you down, shot you dead in the street, and that'd been the end of it. You know, these kids are not living in reality. That's why I say take all youngsters to go see Black Panther. And the reason why is because the mindset needs to be changed. And that's the whole purpose of, you see these celebrities, and even though, you know, hey man, you know, you got Serena Williams and a lot of these stars who play in these black roles, they got white spouses, you know, a white husband or a white mother, a white husband or a white wife, and, you know, and they in these black films, and they saying, yeah, black power, so-and-so, but what they saying to the world is, what it portrays to the world is, you couldn't find a black man or a black woman that's good enough for you. You had to go out and get yourself a white woman. Now that's what it says to the general public. But the meaning behind it is, what it's really saying is, the black men, black women who go out and get the white man or the white woman, what they're really saying is, I want a prestigious image in society. I want that look that's perpetrated in Hollywood, that white is right. So if I line myself up with a white person, then I'll get praise. I'll get to live out a fantasy. I'll get to go to certain places that I wouldn't be able to go to with my black spouse, because I've been to all white, well, predominantly white engagements, and the way that me and my wife was treated and licked upon, I desire more. So I think I can get more out of it if I had a white spouse. And the fact is you might get a smile behind a grin, or you might get a smile behind a frown. That's it. You know? But at the end of the day, you still not welcome. But they'll take your money though. You know what I mean? That's all, they'll take your money. But if you didn't have any money, they wouldn't want you living or at their events or living next to them. Anyway, and in social status in America, really, they wouldn't even matter what race you are. in America now is becoming how much money you got. What can you do and what can you afford? You know, that's the game of survival now. But so the movie Black Panther was introducing a world of black respect. That's all. A world of black respect. Can we get back to what we once had? That's the question of the day. Do we have the power to swim them 9,000 miles? Do we have the power to swim 2,000 miles? First, do we have the power to just even jump in the water to attempt to go back to or create what once was? A level of respect amongst one another, because the disrespect and the divide was purposely done in order to create the slave. Break the mind and the body will follow. They achieved that. And so all the ones who tried to put the mind and body back together again, tried to put Humpty Dumpty back together again, such as Garvey, Noble Drew Ali, Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and many others that was trying to put, look, and when I'm saying not put the body in a place where it could be accepted. No, I'm talking about put the mind and body back together. Those who are what they call poor righteous teachers, those who are willing to risk their lives to put the mind and body back together, that would give you knowledge that they tried to keep away from black people because they know that knowledge is like a joke. It's a vote that's going to energize, that's going to shock you back alive and keep giving you vote after vote until now you are living perpendicular in today's times. That was willing to give you prudent knowledge, not just Jesus wept, and not knowledge that Jesus was white and you hang it over a black church, or not the knowledge of you know how to sing good hymns, good church hymns, and all of that. That's not gonna build anything. We talking about not building knowledge that you can build on, knowledge about the God in man, about who you truly are, that type of knowledge. You know, we talking about that in a sense of putting mind and body back together again. That's what it's about. We're not talking about no basic knowledge, you know, that's not finna give anyone strength. That'll basically keep you illiterate functioning, a functioning illiterate, or a functioning literate, but either way, you just functioning. But we talking about knowledge that you can build upon, that you can create a desire, and then you want that same desire, positive desire, for those that's around you, that look like you, that's in the community with you, or that's spread it throughout. Like in the movie. Vertical Pick Radio. We're out.